Usually on these trips I like to show you guys a few scenes of the drive, but man, I tell you what, there isn't too much visibility going on here today. I get a lot of questions on how the CVT holds up in the weather. I think we're definitely going to find out on this trip. Today I'm heading out to meet up with a couple friends, and we're heading to southeastern Oregon to go check out the Steen Mountain Range and the Alvord Desert. The Indian summer that I was enjoying last weekend is definitely over with. It's overcast, cold, and the forecast is calling for snow. But I'm still very hopeful because these are beautiful locations that will get in some great landscape photography. Alright, so I'm just at the rest area. This is a little rest area just on the far side of the little town of Brothers. And I'm waiting on Matt and Amanda, who will be accompanying me on this trip. And I have the CVT trailer on the back of the truck to this trip because there's not a lot of firewood in the Alvord. In fact, there's nothing to be had on the Alvord. There might be some up in the Steens, but I've loaded the back of the truck up with a lot of firewood, and so therefore I've kind of packed a lot of my other gear that I normally take into the CVT trailer. Plus Matt will be staying in the CVT trailer, and then Amanda, she's got a camp set up in the back of her 4Runner. So, but anyhow, I'm just kind of waiting on them.
Yeah, so the loop road, I was up there last year, so there's a few different options. So I don't know if you saw the weather report I sent over, but it's supposed to snow a foot tonight at Summit.
At Steens?
Yeah.
At Summit though, right?
Well,
not where we're gonna camp.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We might wake up with little snow.
All right, so we're on the road now. I've got Matt and them, they're toting behind me. Our first goal tonight is to try to just get to the base of the Steens. There's a loop road that goes up and through the Steen Mountain Range, and it starts off at French Glen, Oregon. So our first goal there is just to kind of get there and see what the situation is. It has kind of started snowing, but it hasn't been sticking. But they are calling for about a foot of snow up around the summit area of the Steens. So we're just gonna try to get there and, you know, assess the situation at this point. All right, so we made it to French Glen. French Glen is a very tiny town, and both times that I've been here, it's pretty much everything's been closed. So if you are gonna need gas or anything like that, you're either gonna have to make it all the way to Fields, or you're going to want to get gas in Burns or something like that before you start getting out here. But it's a kind of a cool little town. Of course, it's snowing right now, but the loop road actually starts right here. This loop road will take you up and into the Steens, and we're gonna hit that. And there's Matt's telling me there's a couple of camp spots, so we're gonna just kind of go and we'll hit the kind of evaluate as we go along. All right, so we left French Glen, and we're on the loop road now. I got Matt's in the lead because he's been on here before, and he knows a couple of camp spots. So he's gonna lead, and we're just gonna kind of assess as we go along the snow situation. We're gonna try to decide whether or not we wanna stay down low tonight or try to go up a little higher. So we'll just kind of see once we kind of get a little further along.
So about a half mile down the road, there's a fairly large developed campground with vault toilets. But it's usually pretty busy this time of year, if it is indeed hunting season still.
Yeah.
So otherwise we can go up to Fish Lake, is another 16 miles up. And it leaves us about 4 miles from Summit, I think.
Okay.
We made it to the camp at Fish Lake, and by this time it was snowing pretty good and getting dark. So we focused on getting set up and getting a fire going. The next day the snow had stopped and we walked up to a hill to take some shots of the lake. I'd kind of rushed my shots and didn't end up with anything I was terribly happy with, except for this one drone shot that I think I took by accident. Finally settling in here a little bit, and we've gotten coffee, and Matt's working away on the breakfast for us. But the sun has kind of been peeking out, and when the sun's on us, it's actually pretty nice. But I tell you what, when the sun's not on us, it's cold, cold, cold. But absolutely gorgeous out here though right now. Absolutely gorgeous out here. All right, so we're on our way. We got our camp all packed up and we're heading back out. So far, the snow hasn't been a terrible issue. It's pretty powdery, and so it's pretty easy to drive through. But what has been kind of just some small issues is dealing with the extreme cold. I quite honestly don't have a clue how cold it is, but I can tell you it's well below freezing, to the point where the one issue I did have was my e-brake didn't want to release, so I kind of had to keep messing with it until it finally broke loose to where I could go. And we had to jump start Matt's rig Jeep this morning because his battery went dead in the cold last night. So we headed up towards the summit, but the thick cloud cover, wind, and snow made shooting any photography practically impossible. So we got off the mountain and headed to Field Station for some burgers and some shakes. All right, so we just got done eating at Field Station. I highly recommend that if you come to the Alvord Desert, that you stop in there. They have gas. They have a small little bar in there if you want a beer. They got a little grocery store, so they got some basic little, grocery items. But they also serve an amazing hamburger, and they're like famously known for their milkshakes, and they're just absolutely delicious. But anyways, we are decided that we're gonna go head to the Willow Creek Hot Springs for tonight. We'll hang out at the hot springs. We'll go ahead and just camp there at the hot springs, and then we'll get up in the morning and head over to the Alvord. Because we've been getting some snow and a little bit of moisture, we're a little concerned about the condition of the playa on the Alvord, so whether or not we can get there. So we figure we'll give it tonight, and then head over there tomorrow, and hopefully we can go out and find a cool place to camp on the Alvord. We are now at the Willow Springs Hot Springs, and this thing feels amazing. After waking up in the conditions that we had this morning, this feels awesome. I've got my Roto Light AOs kind of lighting just so that you guys can see, because we got here after dark, but I'm gonna shut it off as soon as I get done with you guys. But you can kind of see that the sun has set, and you can still see kind of the outline of the horizon. But what a beautiful spot. I'll show you guys, I'll do some drone footage tomorrow so that you guys can kind of really see the area. But tonight we're just gonna kind of hang out. Amanda's getting ready to get in with me. I do have my Pendleton, so I'm good to go there. But absolutely gorgeous. Springs feels amazing. So anyhow, we'll catch you guys in the morning. So we left Willow Springs and stopped off at Field Station again, fueled up the rigs and everything, and now we're headed out to the Alvord to go check it out. it's been fairly nice day, windy and cold, but fairly nice. But looking off towards the Alvord, it does look like it's either raining or snowing over the top of it. So one thing about the Alvord is if it's wet at all, do not drive on it. You'll get stuck. We've been warned several times to not be on the Alvord if any moisture is on it. So it's looking kind of iffy of whether or not we'll be able to have the opportunity to go out on it or not. So we'll just have to, again, it's just another, this is taking road trips in the late fall, early winter. Weather plays a major variable, and sometimes things work out and sometimes things don't. So we'll just see how she goes. After getting to the Alvord, we could see standing water. So we continued on down the road until we hit a patch of BLM land to camp out for the night. Unfortunately, Matt had to work the next day, so after he helped us with camp, he started the long drive home. Amanda and I enjoyed our last evening hanging out under the awning and enjoying the campfire. All right, so we're just kind of getting wrapped up for the morning. We're gonna start packing up here pretty soon. It's been sunny this morning and actually fairly warm and comfortable. So we've just kind of been relaxing and enjoying it a little bit. But like I said, we're gonna start packing up and getting out of here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a little bit all over the board, I'm sure, with all the traveling and moving from one place to the other and fighting with weather and trying to get good footage and everything. So anyhow, I hope you guys still found some enjoyment in it. And if you did, please give it a like. And of course, like I said, I always enjoy the comments. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And I'll see you guys again outside.